You cannot win a nuclear war.
In 1984, a British TV movie aired that would go down in history not just as a film, but as a psychological event. This wasn't entertainment. This was a warning. A gut-wrenching vision of humanity on the brink, executed with such bleak documentary realism that it left millions of British viewers stunned. This was Threads, and it remains the most disturbing, most harrowing, and most brutally realistic depiction of nuclear war ever committed to film. This isn't a movie where the world ends in a flash of light and the credits roll. This is a film that drags you, kicking and screaming, through the ashes, forcing you to witness the slow, agonizing unraveling of society. Welcome to hell, a hell of our own making. Directed by Mick Jackson and produced by the BBC, Threads was not born from a desire to entertain. It was born from fear. Fear that the Cold War could boil over. Fear that government plans were woefully inadequate. A fear that when the bomb drops, nothing will ever be the same. Unlike Hollywood's take, where heroes defuse bombs and humanity finds a way, Threads has no such illusions. There are no last-minute rescues, no comforting speeches, just cold, clinical collapse. It's not a drama. It's not science fiction. It's a simulated obituary for civilization. At the centre of Threads is an expectant young couple, Ruth and Jimmy. They're ordinary working-class people, full of hope and navigating everyday life in Sheffield, England. They're planning a wedding and expecting their first child. But behind their laughter, the world is fraying. There are whispers of war, political standoffs, oil crises, and sabre rattling between the superpowers. The signs are all there, on the airwaves, in the headlines. But, like most people, they just keep going, because what else can you do? Until one day, the sirens wail. And then, it happens. Without warning, the bomb falls. But Threads doesn't glorify this moment. There's no dramatic soundtrack, no slow-motion heroism, just chaos and horror. The screen flashes white, buildings are obliterated, and fires erupt instantly, turning entire streets into crematoriums. You don't watch the end of the world, you feel it, and it is bloody horrifying. But Threads doesn't stop at the explosion. In fact, that's only the beginning. Because the real terror lies in what comes next. The slow, grinding collapse of everything we take for granted. Food supplies vanish, water is contaminated, disease spreads. The rule of law breaks down as society reverts to survival mode. And then comes the nuclear winter. The sun disappears behind a shroud of ash, temperatures plummet, crops fail, humanity begins to starve. This is not just death, it is extinction by inches. What makes Threads so bone-chilling is its brutal authenticity. Every element, from the radiation sickness to the collapse of civil society, is grounded in real-world research. The effects of fallout are shown in stomach-turning detail, skin scraping off, internal bleeding, hair falling out in huge clumps. Governments crumble, replaced by martial law. Human decency gives way to desperation. And even decades after the blast, the world is still broken. Language is forgotten. Children grow up feral. Humanity survives, but just barely. This isn't post-apocalyptic fiction. This is a mirror, a plausible future. And that's what makes it so damn terrifying. When Threads aired on the BBC, it didn't just disturb audiences, it traumatised them. Viewers reported a pervasive sense of dread, panic attacks, and nightmares that lingered for weeks. And this was television. No trigger warnings, no commercial breaks, just unrelenting despair on a Tuesday night. Even American President Ronald Reagan was reportedly shaken after watching The Day After, a far less graphic American counterpart to Threads. But Threads itself? It made The Day After look like a bedtime story. This wasn't just a film, it was a cultural detonation. Threads ends not with a bang, but a whimper. A baby born into a dead world. A final haunting image of humanity's last gasp. There was no message of hope, no redemption, just the brutal reality that some endings are permanent. It's not just the most terrifying nuclear war film ever made, it's one of the most important. A cinematic scream echoing from a time when we stood on the edge collectively. And maybe we still do. 40 years later, Threads remains terrifyingly relevant. The threat of nuclear annihilation didn't vanish. It just became background noise. But the warning still stands, because Threads doesn't just show what happens if the bomb drops. It shows what happens when we stop caring about what happens next. If you've seen Threads, drop your thoughts in the comments. How did it make you feel? And if you haven't seen it, be warned. This isn't just a movie. It's a glimpse into oblivion. And until next time, this is Zombie from Cosmic Iguana saying thanks for watching and see you at the movies.